Hola, people. All right. So I figured I'd do another live video on Deviant Witchery, just because I know when we do live videos, a lot more people have access to it, so a lot more people see it, and it it, it just brings more engagement to the page. And I want to bring back, the engagement of the page, because when Facebook changed all of their settings and such, it took a lot of people who used to see, Deviant Witchery, and it got rid of you. I used to get a lot of notifications and such about, different pages that I frequent, and no longer. So that's why I'm trying to do more Facebook Live to get people to, aw, good afternoon, Miss Yoli, to, have fun, and to, boost the page, and, talk and share and all that kind of shit. But yeah, again, this is just, oh, hi, Sherry, laid back chat. So if there's anything that y'all want to talk about, feel free. We can talk about whatever. I did put psychic talk just because I was going through my mess over here and over there, and I was looking at books last night and then today as well, and Rachel, the Spirit Witch, she did a video earlier, and she was talking about, mediumship and witchcraft, and her, experiences with that. And psychic nature is definitely a huge part of our craft. It is something that, it helps us to pay attention to. It helps us... Shucks. Oh my god, y'all. I can't talk. Anyways, psychic nature helps us to really understand the energies that we work with. It helps us to prepare to cast. It helps us with everything that we do as a witch. And so I wanted to share some resources that I enjoy, that y'all might enjoy too. Let's see. Hi, darling. It's kind of purple. I've been shampooing it with silver conditioner, and my hair, see, look at, it's like straight down here. It's good. It's crazy today. So would you say that all witches are psychic? Yes. Actually, I think I really would say that all witches are psychic, or all witches have that capability, because if you look back at everything that, we are known for, necromancy, working with the dead, talking to spirits, and the more that we pay attention to energetic frequency, or just different frequencies and vibrations, we are in tune with that. And that's just energy, that's information. And so it's just the mindset that we have to sort of alter to really claim psychic. A lot of people don't want to claim psychic, and they don't feel that they are, because they don't like the term. They would say, I'm not psychic, because they have this, maybe this impression of what a psychic should be, or should not be. That could be a show. But yes, and I know it's funny because in your show on the Sacred Circle, Tara, or Lippy Witch was for like, no. But I do believe that, even Miss Tara, Miss Lippy, is psychic, especially when you work with the cards. When you work with anything, you pay attention to different energies. You look at a card, you see the symbolism, and then you're crazy. No, your mind starts to put things together, and then you start to see synchronicity, and you start to get information. And to me, that is, on a very general level, a sort of psychic experience. And yes, I feel that as witches, we are all psychic. We kind of have to be. Would you say that all psychics are witches? No. No, not at all. I feel like, no. Because psychic being able to pay attention to that energy, being able to receive and interpret and formulate and comprehend that energy is not the same thing as being able to do more, to cast and to create and to work with the spirits. You know, it's so hard to really define and you know, separate all of these terms, but at the same time there are distinct, I guess, differences, or what would seem to be very I guess also at the same time they're distinct, but they're also minute, you know? It's really hard, but there are, once you find those little differences and you actually start to comprehend them and you're like, okay, that makes sense, it becomes like it puts a bigger gap between, you know, psychic and witch, you know? So a psychic to me is one, you know, we pick up on information, we interpret that, we have spirits that may communicate with us, we can look at, you know, people and see energy, or we feel thought patterns, we might hear something. There are different ways that we filter our psychic understanding, and so we're able to have a little more information about a situation. A witch is, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm saying that witches are superior, because we're not, in a sense, but we are different. We're more than just, and it's not just a psychic, but we do different stuff. We're more, I guess, active, you know? Maybe active. Maybe we, in a sense, psychics get information and they act upon it by the information they receive, but a witch can actually cast to alter and change circumstances. So yeah, it's very interesting to really discuss that we align with a different frequency than psychics. Absolutely, and that's kind of the interesting thing, because earlier when the spirit witch was talking, I was asking her if, as a psychic or a medium witch, did she come in contact with, you know, different spirits, or does she feel like she comes in contact with different spirits and such things than, let's say, like a spiritualist witch, like someone like a Christo, you know, someone who's Christian spiritualist, not witch, I mean, sorry, medium. And she was like, yeah, kinda, you know, and I feel, yeah, we sort of attract, as witch, we attract different things, and we see the world, or the realm around us and within us, from a different place. I don't know what I just said, I was rambling. Recently had crystal healing for the first time. She picked up a lot about me, but I picked up that she had a male dog. That's awesome. Absolutely. And you know, when, you know, that's, when you do healing work, that is a very personal and a very vulnerable space, and that's usually when a lot of people, whether it be the person receiving the healing or the person giving the healing, that's where a lot of people get some really strong and powerful, like, psychic hits, because the person receiving the healing is open to the energy that is necessary to perform that healing, and then the person doing the healing is they're focusing on you. Hi, Robert. Blessed be. Yeah, but they're in alignment with your energetic frequency, and so they're paying attention to you, and so they're paying attention to, you know, the different vibrations of crystals, the different vibrations that your body is putting off, and so when they work that healing energy, they're paying attention, they're alert, they're aware, and so they're seeing or feeling or hearing, you know, however they filter that. They're in that experience, and so they're picking up on psychic information, and then the target, or, you know, the person receiving that healing, you're open, so you're in a spot where you're sort of not doing anything, you're just there, open to receive, and you also pay attention, most likely. And so that's when, you know, really great telepathic communication and thought transference and energetic transference happens. So that's awesome. We definitely, we definitely align with a different frequency than psychics. Yeah, and I think that's important also to realize, because as witch, we are other things. Psychic is definitely applied to witch. As witch, we are given information, and we experience, again, like I said, we experience the world around us from a different place than as, standalone psychic. And so when we interact with the world, we pick up on that psychic information, yes, but we're picking up on so much more because we're in tune and we're like vibrating at a different level. So we interact with the world as psychic witch. And so that's kind of like what determines the types of energies, the types of beings, the types of different things that we experience and how we experience them as well. Versus someone who is standalone, like that, standalone psychic. And so they would see things differently, and they might pick up on things, they might pick up on something that a witch might not, because they're actually fine-tuned, and they're focused, and they're trained to see things a certain way, So it's very interesting when you start to, dissect things and try to get into the mind space and the energetic space of different practitioners and how they receive the world. But yeah, so anything else? Y'all, this is our time, so you can chat, you can say anything you want to say, and we can talk and have discussions. If you don't agree, that's cool. If you do agree, that's cool. Let's talk. I was brought up Catholic and always just knew things. Since I have been exploring and learning about energies and other things, I have lost the feelings. Yes, that happens a lot. It sucks. But it really does suck, but it's natural. Like, when you don't know what's going on, you have like certain experiences, they seem to be very like intense, and they are. But the minute you can define something, the minute you pinpoint it and you start to work at it, or you're like, okay, cool, I got this, it seems to like be a little more subtle. That just happens. It's because now that you know what you're working with, that sort of like, in my eyes, now that you know what you're working with, that sort of specialness, or that cool energy about it, it's not unknown anymore. And so your body has a way to define it and filter it, and so it's being filtered through the proper channels. And yes, it is just as intense, but because now you have understood it on some level, it becomes a part of you, and so you have to sort of tap into that energy to get back to that, newness. And that's the thing that's really hard, and I'm rambling, but that's the thing that's really hard when it comes to like witchcraft. I was talking to Melissa, the Dreadful Mystic, the other day, is it's really hard to get back to that beginning stage where everything's so exciting and so new and fresh, even though you still have that connection of power, or that energy, and you love it, and you have passion for it, but that newness, that exciting, expression, when you see new people, like, come into their own and it clicks, that's fun, that's rewarding, it's very liberating. It's really hard to practice for so long and maintain that. You just have to find ways. But the more you work at it, Jessica, the more you practice, the more you will see results. And so I find, like, even if I can't get back to that original feeling, I know that it's still there, because as I practice, as I create, as I cast, as I, pick up on people's energies, I receive validation that I am doing what I thought it was doing, and so that helps, keep me going forward. But I find that, like, with pretty much everything, like, the minute you pinpoint it, it's like, oh, it doesn't seem as special, or it doesn't seem as, like, intense. And a lot, with when you build muscle, you do the same thing for so long, and then you're comfortable, you have to kind of take it to the next level to push to build more. I found that automatic writing works for me. Ooh, that's awesome. I I would love to try automatic writing, but I don't have fucking patience. I could do like automatic typing. I would do that a lot. Back in the day when I was like, working with my friend Roz, and we did a lot of the psychic stuff. And I would channel a lot, and I would just, type away. As I was writing to her, I just, bam, go crazy. But actual writing, I would love to do. I just don't have the patience for that. I don't have patience for much, and that's a terrible trait at times. But I love it. That's awesome, and that's the thing. Is like you have to kind of figure out what works for you. But yes, I do feel that all psychics or all witches are psychic. We have to be. And if y'all agree or disagree, feel free to state your opinions. But I do feel that when you are a witch, I feel that we have that psychic initiation of sorts. We also have mediumistic capabilities, but I don't feel that all witches have that. And I don't know if it's because a lot of us are scared or have like hang-ups when it comes to communicating with the dead, or if it's just we don't have that connection. I don't really know. I feel though that a lot of witches have the ability to communicate with the dead. That's kind of like one of our things. But yeah, it's very interesting to perceive. One of the books that I enjoy, and that's the thing, is like if you're a practicing witch, or if you're a new witch, or even a well-rounded witch, psychic skills. I know those days are fun. Psychic skills, psychic development is vital. And it's because basically everything that the witch does has a foundation, really, on some sort of psychic energy. This book's all fucked up, but You Are Psychic by Deborah Lynn Katz is a weird fucking book, but a really good one. I actually had psychic training. I went to psychic training, and it was based on the school that teaches the way she teaches in her book. Weird. The way it was explained to me when I was in psychic training, fucking weird. It was weird. The imagery, it felt. I think the reason why I had a hard time connecting with it at first was because it was so like analytical. It was very, it felt very cold, but it's necessary because you have to have that foundation. So it was just putting me out of my, comfort zone. But, You Are Psychic, Deborah Lynn Katz, very good book, and it gives you a distinct foundation. It tells you how to, connect. It tells you how to raise energy. It shows you different ways to psychically perfect yourself, perfect your skills. It's really fun. It tells you about grounding cords. It tells you about, putting up a fucking screen, seeing shit on that screen. It tells you how to clean that shit out. There's so many different things that are actually really cool in this book. You just kind of have to, if you're like me, you have to give it a chance. But there's a lot of really fun stuff in this book. And she also tells you, how to read for yourself. So there's that book. And again, y'all, you want to talk about anything specific, we can. Feel free to utilize the chat and comment, and we'll talk about whatever. I talk about this often, but Laura Day, How to Rule the World from Your Couch. She's fun. It's kind of the exact opposite, in a sense, of You Are Psychic. Because she's very witty, she's funny, and she makes you process information, instantly. No fucking around, no like defining what anything is. It's just, here's your exercise, boom, do it. What did you do? What did you receive? How did you have that experience? And then after you have that experience, then she goes in and she tells you what the fuck, she was talking about. And I kind of like that because it forces you to... Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so it forces you to deal with your own personal experience versus basing it on someone else's definition, And then after you have that experience, whether it be intense or not, she explains it. So that's cool. She has some weird definitions of like what certain things are, but she talks about mediumship, she talks about channeling, she talks about telepathy, she talks about remote viewing. Remote viewing is something that I'm really I think is really cool. I'm really fascinated by. She talks about precognition. She talks about healing work. There's a lot of good shit in this book, and it's not too huge, but it's packed full of exercises. And that's something that we stress a lot, is it's very important to exercise on all levels. It's very important to work with these techniques and practice and have fun and practice more and have more fun. So let's see. There's more books I'll share, but I'll share in a second. Do all witches have empathic abilities? Do all witches have empathic abilities? What say y'all? If you're watching, what are your perceptions? Do all witches have empathic abilities? Why do you believe that they do? Or why do you believe we don't? I personally believe that yes, we do. Like, I feel that all witches do have, I think most everyone, unless you're like some crazy killer person that has no emotion, whatever. But I do feel like all witches have empathic abilities, and I feel like the reason, like many reasons, but how can you not when what we are, what we stem from, where we're born from, what everything we're connected to is full of emotion. Nature is full of different responses, and those responses, they ignite emotion in individuals like us. And so when we tap into that energy, when we tap into nature, when we tap into the gods, when we tap into spirit, we feel, we have an intense emotional investment with all that we do. And that goes with, having psychic skill, is when you're able to pick up on that energy, you have to be able to express it somehow, and expressing through emotion is, why am I like on top of my hand, sorry. It's important. And so you see emotion and feelings and that sort of energy in nature. Definitely all witches have empathic abilities in my eyes, in my thought process right now, because we are so interconnected with not just nature, but the cosmos, everything. How can we not have that feeling, that emotional response? Now, we can choose to deny that, which is scary. We can choose to deny our emotional investment with things. We can choose to fill that with layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of toxicity, of bullshit, and then that creates trouble, that creates problems. So for those, and again, my perception, my belief, but again, if you believe a certain way, if you agree, if you don't agree, feel free to share. I'm interested to see what others think. But I believe that those who would say they are not empathic possibly would have layers and layers on them, disconnecting them in a sense, or clouding them from that emotional connection. Because when we feel things, it reminds us of personal experience, and sometimes we don't want to be reminded of personal experience. Sometimes we don't want to be reminded of a certain feeling, because when we have a strong feeling, it impresses upon us, and then it activates certain things within us, because that's how we interpret, that's how we relay information. And so when it activates within us, we have to face that bullshit. We have to face that challenge, that memory, that experience. And I think that's why a lot of people are kind of... You find two types, really. The people who are scared to embrace that emotion, and then the people who embrace that emotion so they have a story to complain about. And I'm not being a bitch here, but I see that a lot. People are like, I'm so empathic, it hurts to... And I'm not making light of this either, because I do believe that people feel this way, and then they create that as well. But they're so empathic in ways that it hurts to walk outside. So... yeah. Yes, our very beings are comprised of emotions and how we interpret the world around us. Yeah, and I feel like, it's important as witches as well to stop being scared of embracing power, embracing who and what we are. People are scared to say, well, I am psychic, so they don't say it. And sometimes they go as far as denying that and proving that to be true. I'm not empathic. I'm not this. Well, what the fuck are you? Really? Have you experienced anything that terrified you? If so, what did you do? Yeah. Not much anymore. This is gonna sound... I don't know how it's gonna sound. I enjoy being scared. But it takes a lot to scare me. It takes a lot to scare me. But I like that adrenaline. I like that feel. But I really don't get scared anymore. When I was young, I experienced like what most people now would understand as earthbound spirits, like traumatic spirits that have experienced traumatic death. Unfinished business, as most people would say nowadays. I witnessed a lot of harsh appearing dead people, and that was very traumatic for me. That was very scary for me, and it was to the point where I witnessed it and I was not able to express it. Like it. You know how when you try and say something, or you're so scared, or you want to say something, but nothing's coming out? That's what I felt. That's how it was. And so I blocked that shit out until fairly recently. And it's a bitch to get back. It's a bitch to reawaken and nurture, because now you have to fight with old programming. And honestly, what I do when things supposedly possibly scare me or I'm apprehensive about is I educate myself. I empower myself. I know myself. I know what I'm capable of. I trust in my power. I trust in my strength. I trust in the resources that I have had. I trust in the mentorships and everything that I have, put myself through. All the people that I communicate with, all the books that I have read, all the spirits that I've communicated with, all the actions that I've taken, the spells, the formulas, everything that I've done is a part of me. And so if something is making me feel uneasy, I remember everything that has brought me to this point. I remember that I am not weak, I am strong. I trust the backing that I have, because I have a very solid foundation. And so that makes me have a solid foundation, so I can stand, and I can stand strong. And I trust in that energy. Have you... Yeah, okay. Yeah. I have seen those that fight the emotions as well. Yeah, it's emotions and processing emotions is not really it's not always a fun thing. It's not always, just not. But I do feel that it's necessary. Yes. So yeah, y'all have any questions? Do you have anything else that you'd like to talk about? Another really good book that I like, Opening to Channel, How to Connect with Your Guide. Sanaya Roman and Dwayne Packer, or Sanaya Roman, whatever. You can learn to channel. This book is actually really good. I know I'm talking shit, but it really is good. I actually like all of their books that I've read. They're very refreshing. This book has helped me to channel better. The only thing, and I guess I understand, they channel and they work with a very specific type of energy, higher realms, higher beings, very positive and uplifting, supposedly. And I like it, but witch here. I'm not just a channel, I'm a witch. And so I have to bring it down to the realm in which I experience. So I like this. Very good book. Powerful. It has a lot of great techniques, and the way they express things, it helps you to really channel. It helps you to step into that, that body, to fine-tune yourself and to receive information, and to also, have that under your belt. It's a really good book. It helps you to connect with that energy. It helps you to learn how to channel and why. Another really good book on channeling, and I'm pretty sure I've shared it before, is I don't have it. I don't know where it is. It's I want to say A Comprehensive Guide to Channeling by Ezekiah or something, or channeled. Anyways, yeah. Let's see. I can feel others' energies, and learning to shield has helped in not picking their energy. Yeah. A long time ago, I felt a strong sense of doom and unease. I just knew that something was wrong, but I didn't know if I was imagining it or not. A few days later, my granddad died. Now I know when those close to me are ill, and thankfully it's not been as intense. That is a really good... Okay, so you have that a part of you now. That intuitive and that psychic hit. How that energy was very specific and how it felt. So, and how when you realize what that was, and then when your grandfather passed, that realization, that when you match that psychic hit with the realization, that energy will be forever in your personal psychic witchy database. And so when you feel that again, you will depending on the severity of that emotion, that experience that you transfer or you translate and you feel, you'll be able to psychically express information. And so you might be able to tell that, someone's not doing well. You'll feel something like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's a very, I think that's important for people to realize, is when we have life experiences and we have that intuitive and that psychic hit, to pay attention to that, because once we understand what that hit, that information, that energy was saying, that's forever a part of us. And so when it happens, if it happens again, or depending on, again, like I said, the severity of the experience, it'll come to us and it will tell us. So that's, yeah. I have had many dreams where a thing is attacking me and I'm fighting for my life. I wake up after I get the thing off me and have bruises and scratches where it had been holding me down. Any thoughts? I have thoughts, but I don't know where they are. There's a term for that, and I can't remember, because I know a lot of people experience similar stuff, and I can't recall what they express that as. But if you have this dream a lot, then before you go to bed, I would, program your dreams, call in your guides, and help you to fight off that monster or whatever, that thing, and release it, or confront it. But before you go to bed, do protection or something like that. You can stick a glass of water underneath your bed where your head would be, and program that to take all the negative shit and into the water, and then dump that out, maybe at a crossroads, when you wake up. So, and I have a lot of psychic books, but this is gonna be my last one that I'm sharing. It's fucking huge and heavy and dangerous. The Llewellyn's Complete Book of Psychic Empowerment. This is, it's a huge ass book, y'all. I mean, it doubles as a fucking weapon, really. There's like 31 chapters. That's how big. It's a big. But it talks about everything. Honestly, it's intense. It talks about a lot of psychic shit. It has techniques. It has exercises. There's like a course in here, to help you train. So this is really another good book. I haven't read this all the way through, but I have utilized it. I have practiced certain things from this book. I have allowed it to help me in my psychic development. And so that's why I'm sharing this with you. So the Complete Book of Psychic Empowerment, really good book. I really do like it, and there's a lot of information. It gets down to business, really. There's a lot of information, and it's there to help us. So yeah. Do you have any questions, y'all? Do you want to talk about anything specific? Say hi to Magical Minty. But yeah, if you have any questions, if you want to talk anything of a psychic nature, if you want to talk witchcraft, tarot, we can. Because I am here. I'm here for a little while longer. Unless no one wants to talk, and then I'll leave. But yes. Hola, Susie. But yeah, psychic exploration, psychic development, enhancement is necessary. I feel 100% necessary when you embody and embrace and walk the witch's path. It just trains us to fluidly move within our realm. When connecting with spirit, when connecting with deity, when connecting with any sort of being, having a grasp of psychic energy and knowing how to filter it through our channels, it helps. And the more we know, the more we practice, the more it allows us to have discernment. Because when you see something, cool, you have information. When you're able to feel something, you have more information. So let's say something appears to you as very innocent. If you don't train yourself, well, hello. If you don't train yourself in other aspects of psychic, skills, you just have what you see. But let's say this innocent thing feels tricky, feels not so nice. You have that as a tool to help you discern. So you're looking at it, you're seeing something nice, but you're feeling your, clairsentience is telling you something's off. Back the fuck up. Go that way. So that's what I really say, and we really can't deny the psychic nature of a witch. So it's important to embrace that, and by educating yourself and practicing more of your psychic skills, you just make your craft even stronger. Even when casting, psychic information will help you to tailor your casting, your workings, to the best results. In tarot, doing readings for other people come easy, natural. However, when doing a reading for myself, it is never on point. Thoughts on why? Are you able to detach and detach yourself from the reading? I know a lot. Like, I don't have issues reading for myself because I was taught that you should, and no one else is going to do it for me, so I had to. But I find that a lot of people have like hang-ups when it comes to reading for themselves. There's a lot of like hidden beliefs when it comes to throwing down the cards for yourself. Some people think that, oh, it's, taboo, you're not supposed to. And some people just can't, they're so invested in a reading, they're so invested in the information that for some reason they just can't disconnect because they're scared of what they might see. On some level also, if you already know the answer to it, the reading can be a little tricky because it's like, you already know. And so you're trying to ask the tarot, the cards, and you want to be lied to. So there's many possibilities as to why it's challenging for you, but I would say, like, reading for yourself, start with a smaller spread and treat it as if you're reading for a client or as you're reading for someone else. So instead of like trying to interpret the reading like internally, express it out loud like you would for a client and treat it like that. A lot of times that helps because you're taking yourself out of the equation, even though you know it's about you, but you're also expressing it in a way that sort of takes that personalization out of the reading. So yeah, that's something to pay attention to. I find when doing my own tarot, I'm never quite sure if I'm seeing what I want to see or misinterpreting myself. Well, yeah, I hear ya. Yeah, being more objective, absolutely. That's important. So yeah, y'all, if you have any questions, feel free. I'm here for a little while longer. We can talk. Witchcraft, witchy stuff. There was Facebook's been fucking up for me like a lot. Like, it's been really jacked up in this group that I'm in, and I can't even get back to it now because it's showing up blank. But someone asked if working with two different deities for protection or for a specific thing is a good idea. And someone, I guess, expressed something kind of along the lines, well, just pick and choose. And obviously, if you've watched Deviant Witchery or Deviant Witch or whatever, and I'm just rambling until someone else has something that they might want to talk about. I find if you're going to work with deity, you need to have a relationship with deity. So don't pick and choose just because they have some sort of correspondence. Deities aren't correspondences for us. Get to know a deity, get to know that energy, get to know that spirit, get to know that being, interact, and once you have a solid, connection, then work. And if you want to co-create with more than one deity, you need to talk to them. You need to ask them to see if they're actually going to get along, because not all deities want to work together. Not all deities have the type of frequency or energy that will mesh well. So it's important to be aware, of that. You can't just bring in powerful, energies and then expect them to play well together. Think about personalities. Think about when you have very strong personalities and you put them in a small room. Sometimes it can go very well. Sometimes only one's left standing. I'm just saying. you know? So it's really important. So, alright, okay. Is there anything, I'm trying to pick up my fucking glass and I'm almost picked up the microphone. Is there anything that you guys would like to discuss? Or not? Sorry, I'm crunching ice. Oh wow. But I will say, practice makes perfect. Don't be scared of practicing. I find that people want to know every little thing about a situation before they execute their spell, and that's just not possible. You have to eventually just do it. Just cast. If you spend more time trying to talk yourself out of casting, you're wasting your skills. You're wasting what you can be doing with your work. Can spirit leave messages on cell phones? Absolutely, I feel that they can. You know, if you think about it, spirit is. I've never had it happen myself, but spirit is energy, and you know, cell phones, frequencies, for sure, it's possible. Do I have a spread I use for communication with spirit or deity? Not one, not necessarily a spread that I've done. Not a specific spread. I've used other spreads and they're cool. I am working with, you know, the kinks. I'm working the kinks out with a spread that I'm trying to create that, you know, gets the message across. You know, definitely. For me, it would have to be a 5-card spread or more because I need a foundation card. And 3-card spreads just don't cut it. With 5 cards, you always have like a center card. So definitely I need a foundation card. I need the, you know, the question. I need the spirit as well, or the deity, and their influence. And then you need the communication. You need all the other shit. So I don't, but if you do, if you all do, if you all have like a spread that you use when communicating with spirit or deity, I would love to see it, and I'll definitely use it. I'll practice it, because I love tarot spreads. They're fun. Some of them are confusing. And what's the one book that changed your life or helped you in the direction you want to go in? Oh, fuck. That's a good question. Well, I'll ask the same question to everyone else. What's the one book that changed your life or helped you in the direction you wanted to go in? That's really hard for me, actually. I don't know. I don't really have I can't say that there was just one book that really helped me. Everything I've read, everything I've encountered has helped me. And to be very honest, to be quite honest, it really wasn't books that helped me. Books gave me information to work with, and I appreciate that, and I can't discount that at all. It was people that helped me, like my really dear friend Roz. We had a very distinct connection, and having a relationship with her, connecting with her, sharing with her, I learned so much. And then back in the day, there was this website, a forum, and it taught Magica, and that experience helped me so much because it put me in contact with so many different people that I'm still in contact today with. And so I don't think one book has really had that much influence, in a sense. but it was more so like people and places. Magica, and before Magica, there was MSN Messenger, like chat groups, and I'm fucking old now, okay, whatever. But you know, they had chat groups, and you know, there was IRC and you know, ICQ and Yahoo Messenger groups and chat groups. It was a connection and the exchanging of ideas and information and the actual caring about individuals and promoting growth and caring about, you know, the world that we live in. So that's really hard. You know, all the books I just shared earlier, the psychic books, those are wonderful and they helped fine-tune skills, but it was actual people that instilled very specific beliefs. It was trainings that I experienced, but it wasn't just the training, the initiations that I've had. It was the connection with the people. It was the stuff that was left unsaid, the very silent exchange. You know, all of that has helped me so much. And the experiences that I've had to this point, you know, that is a good question. That's a really good question. I love that. Oh my gosh, I owned this silver. I did own the Silver Ravenwolf Teen Witch kit like 1,000 years ago. And also, one thing that, and I've talked about this before, is when I was in grade school, there was this new store that opened up in the mall that here, very small town, and it's called Ancient Ways. And this very strong older woman, very short white hair, like a buzz cut. Her voice was so much more deeper than mine, still is. I remember I was buying. Do I have it? I don't have it. I was buying Spellcrafts by Scott Cunningham, and I think the Rider-Waite tarot deck. And for some reason, it seemed like she was on like a pedestal or something. She was big, and she was just like, everything about her was large, in a sense, like her energy, and she projected that shit too. And she looks down, and she was like, let me just tell you now, you fuck with shit, and shit fucks with you. And then she went on about, you send shit out 3 times, 3 by 3, whatever. And I'm like, alright. Okay, we're good. Like, I'm scared of you. I gotta go. You know, that moment has always, you know, stuck out to me. That energy, that experience is so ingrained. I don't believe in the threefold law, but her dedication and her passion for what she was offering at that store, making sure that someone who didn't really know what they were doing at the time had information and sort of was kind of scared, had it. And she did a really good job of scaring me, as well as making me, that clicked with me. It was like, oh, I never thought it was a game, but it was like, oh, this is serious. And I think at that moment, and I want to say, I was young. I was young. That was one of the moments where I was like, oh, I'm supposed to do this, you know? This is the path I'm walking on. And this is the energy that I need to take with me. Cool. I don't know. It was a really intense experience. It was like minute. Like it was very short, but powerful. Let's see. I think Paul Houston's book, not for the content per se, but because it made me aware that people were sharing information and chatting about their experience. Which book? Was that Mastering Witchcraft? Was that Mastering Witchcraft? I think. I'm really terrible with names. It, I think it's Mastering Witchcraft. That book was interesting to me as well. Like, and I didn't read that till like a little later. But yeah, that I like. Okay, cool. Mastering Witchcraft. I like that too. Not, and you're right. Not necessarily for the content, but the thought patterns, like what it makes you think and what you kind of face, and yeah, that's interesting. And like, why don't you believe in the threefold law? Because I don't really think it's that simple. You send something out three, and it comes back to you three times. And I don't really think it's, good or bad. Good and bad is a judgment that we as humans place. If you look at nature, there's so many different things that happen that can be considered bad, but are actually good for the environment and for that situation. So it's really hard for me, and it's not been in my experience that has been true. I don't believe in karma. I believe that the people who believe in karma and apply it and have the right understanding of it, I believe that's true for them. But as far as like the threefold law, no, I don't feel like what you put out, comes back to you just three times. I think it's a good. I think it's a really good conversational piece. It's a great piece to have a conversation and talk ethics and talk about what we feel is best and what we feel is not best. So yeah, that was a really good question. Thank you, Jane. That was a very interesting question, and I like that. So let's do this. Yes, wonderful, cool. Okay, so again, y'all, I'm taking a drink. It's getting hot in here. If y'all have any questions, it's dripping. If you have any questions, feel free. If you want to talk about anything, that was a really good question. I like being asked good questions. And I'm still trying to think of like books that I've read that have really changed my thought process. I don't know if y'all read, and this has nothing really to do with witchcraft, but Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh. It's an interesting read, and that actually, that book helped me to not be so harsh. So that was a good book for me to read. Yeah. But yeah, I love being a witch. It's fun. It's rewarding. It's liberating, and I love the service, aspect of it. And I feel like that's something that needs to be taken back. I love being of service. I love being able to witness things and express different situations. I love helping. Okay, how did you first become interested and learn about the craft? Okay, y'all, let's talk about that. And I guess I want to ask you the same thing. How did all of you first become interested and learn about the craft? Because that's a cool thing. Our beginnings are unique to us. Book of Thoth. Oh, that is also really interesting. Yeah. Oh, Diana. Awesome. Well, like many of you know, my initial beginnings, my actual conscious experience and beginning was around the age of 10. My best friend at the time gifted me Gypsy Witch fortune telling cards, because that's when the Ancient Ways store popped up. And then from that moment, it was like when she gifted it to me, I was like, cool. But it was weird because I received the cards, but it's like the awareness of my surroundings sort of altered a little bit. Like it was a little like calmer and quieter. It like time went still for a moment, and I'm like, the awareness of that was just very interesting, very subtle, but it stood out at the same time. So when that happened, not too long after, I had a very distinct experience with a goddess. And I researched her, and I'm here. Basically, it was tarot or fortune-telling cards that sort of initiated that experience. But even before then, I had like psychic experiences and things that sort of set me up to step onto this path. The death of my daughter set me to explore for answers. That's powerful. Absolutely. It's interesting to see, how we all sort of get, I feel like, chosen or awakened. This is gonna sound so cheesy, but if y'all watched, if y'all ever watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the last season when Willow activates every Slayer, and that experience where she casts, and then you see every Slayer being activated, that initiation, point. That's kind of how I feel as witches when we have that realization, when we come into that understanding of this is who we are. That's kind of how, I feel it's expressed. It's like, boom, this awareness, this knowledge, it's powerful, it's fun. Brutal murder of a friend and his brother. I need to start researching. My sister-in-law introduced me to a high priest. He confirmed to me this was my path. That's powerful. That's intense. It's also interesting to me because I feel like a lot of people, there are many of us who have had intense experiences along those lines. That, yeah, death is a powerful initiator. Like I was going to say, absolutely. That experience it that way, or death intensifies things. Non-witchy book for me was Don Miguel Ruiz. Series helped me realize not to take shit personally and got me researching to empower myself and accept what I always knew to be my path but kept denying myself. Okay, cool. That's good. Awesome. I live in London, and I visited Watkins Bookstore years ago, which is the oldest esoteric bookstore in the UK, and felt, I'm so jealous. I want to go to the UK and feel old books. It's powerful. It's beautiful. I don't know. It's very rewarding. I love that experience when you connect and you realize that you're a part of something so much more. And I feel that the more that we understand that we're a part of something so much more, we actually have the ability to change. Because even on some level, I feel witches, and I apologize for my rambling, y'all, but I feel like on some level witches still don't realize the influence that we have, what we're able to actually do. Even when we cast and we get results, I feel like we, on some level, have a slight disconnection that was us. That was me. That was you. You did it. And so we don't have the full realization, the full comprehension that we can do so much more. And I feel like the more that we understand this and we step into this, the more we will work to bring healing in our communities. Yeah, and I know, y'all, if you want to talk about anything else, feel free. I'm going to touch on a few other things, just in case. I want to come to the UK. I would love to. I'm scared of flying, though. Why can't we just teleport? That would be fun. But I know in the Deviant Witchery group, someone wanted me to touch on, anxiety and stress. And I have to be really careful when talking about like anxiety because I'm not a professional, I'm not a doctor, so I really cannot say much, but my own personal experience and such. So again, anyways, so not all anxiety is created the same. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a professional of that nature, so I can't comment on that part. There are things that reduce stress, obviously. Meditation tends to help some people. Lavender tends to help some people. Labradorite, the crystal, I don't know if I said it right, don't really care, I tried. That. Labradorite for me, depending on where you feel your anxiety is rooted, sometimes like I have anxiety communicating with people, so I will combine Labradorite with like Chrysocolla or Aquamarine, because if I'm like sweating, I need some Aquamarine to cool me down, calm my shit. I'll combine those and maybe add in some like black tourmaline to really ground out that situation, to help bring grounding to your anxiety. You can create like a worry stone. Oh, hi Kellogg's. Oh my gosh, how old is he now? Like, makes me feel old. But yeah, you can get like a worry stone and get like a essential oil, like let's say lavender, and really like massage the worry stone. And oh my god, 19, I feel like, oh my god, I'm old. I'm like old, crotchety, decaying man. That makes me feel old. Okay. And press your anxiety into the stone and feel that energy go into the stone. And as it goes into the stone, it could be like a river rock or something. It grounds out, and you're putting that energy into it, and you're also massaging it with like a calming or a stress relieving essential oil or oil blend. And so you're taking the physical body and you're let's see. You're taking like the physical body and you're massaging like an oil, and you're focusing at the same time into that stone, and you're releasing that tension, you're releasing that stress, you're releasing that anxious energy into it, okay? And you just breathe and you try to retune yourself, calm your shit as best as you can. Sometimes that works well. Also, what really works well is not having any stimulants if possible, because if you know that energy drinks or caffeine or anything like that increases your anxiety, then it is good to have those in smaller doses. I work with children with anxiety, and we teach breathing exercises of smelling imaginary strawberries and blowing out candles. That's cute. Aww. Okay, so yeah, even that, breathing exercises of smelling imaginary strawberries, and then as which you incorporate your magic into that, so that would help, definitely. Meditation on the breath can help, as anxiety can sometimes feel as though you can't catch your breath. Absolutely. And something that helps me, you'll see me I'll do this a lot, or I'll do this, something that will help me I can express myself, but I'm also paying attention to something else. So if I'm talking and I have I'm doing this or something, I can have myself in two places almost. So I'm not freaking out because I'm not solely just focused right here. I can feel myself right here, and I'm paying attention to this as I'm talking to you, and so that helps as well for me. So that as well, and being aware for me at times of other things while I'm trying to do the thing that's giving me anxiety, that helps me process. You can, you know, create like a little dream pillow, or like a pillow, and fill it with things that are not as stressful. You can put a petition paper in it with a sigil on it, and your name, that work to help you, I wouldn't say block anxiety, but help you process it better. Because you don't want to block it. You want it, because if it's something that you experience, you want it to flow through you. So you need to make sure that you are able to still have that experience and allow it to flow through you and release. It's important not to stop something that you have, stop something that you already experienced, and you know it's going to happen. You need to work with it. So having it process through you, you're still allowing it to flow through you, but it's not rooting. It's not like, hanging up like somewhere through your body. You're allowing it to flow through and release. So definitely, and then fill it with like herbs that calm you. You can fill it with rice, and I read that as breads. I'm like, why are you running fucking bread through your fingers? Beads. It's not bread, it's beads. Yeah. I'm like, okay, she's the bread lady, okay? I find beads help, just running them through my fingers when speaking. Yes, absolutely. Have you done Kundalini yoga meditation? I found it's such a profound and healing experience, even as a beginner. Hugely recommended. No, I have not. I have not. I definitely would be open to it. I personally picture a black room with a window, and see all my worries fly out the windows. There's so many different ways you can alleviate stress, and this is gonna, I'm not even gonna go there. There was something else I was gonna express, and I'm not gonna go there because I'm not gonna go there today. Maybe tomorrow. Yeah, kneading dough. See, you get stressed, go freaking bake some bread. Although that can also, that also might not be the best thing either. Because then you don't want to eat all the bread. Especially fresh bread. So, yeah, okay. That was stress and anxiety. Oh, poppet making. Oh my gosh, that would be even better. Then you wouldn't eat it. Bread poppets are definitely a stress reliever. Okay, so... Oh my gosh, yes. Why did I think of that? Hello, Michael. Shuffling cards. Yes. I always have, like, cards around me, and it is especially when you're a card reader, just being able to shuffle and feel the cards and move them around, and it takes us somewhere because we're so trained to lay out the cards and read and tap into that energy. So as we shuffle, we're sort of calming ourselves down. We're putting ourselves in that situation where it's time to read cards. Sure, I can pull a card for you. Why not? Let's see. Also, someone wanted to talk about healing. Let's see. I'd love to hear thoughts on witchcraft for healing. It's one thing I struggle with. It seems to be the one thing witchcraft isn't fully capable of being utilized for. It seems to be the one thing witchcraft isn't fully capable of being utilized for. Health issues and healing. Why? I would actually disagree with that part. Witchcraft has a strong foundation on healing. Oh my god, I can't sew either. It's terrible. Witchcraft has a very, very, that's what that's another thing we're known for, not just talking to dead peoples. But we're known for our healing work. If you look back at folk magic and different, where witches were, we were the healers. We were outside, yes, but we were on the outskirts of the towns or whatnot. But people came to us for healing. So, and I feel like that's an important part of our craft. It's a huge part of us. It's a huge part of us. Learning how to work the energies of the earth, and the cosmos, and bringing healing and rebalancing people. What are your I can't talk. Oh, I'm sorry. What are your thoughts on witchcraft and healing? I'm shuffling these cards for Jane. I'll pull you a card. Ooh, I found not magic can be good for healing. What are your experiences with not magic and healing, darling? How do you apply it? What do you like about it? And before... So Jane, Page of Cups, it says... sorry, someone's messaging me. Page of Cups, it says, take the bitch face off. No, it really says stop being, to me this card right now is expressing, remove yourself from a situation and stop looking at something. I feel this card is saying you're just from a part of a situation, but you're also disconnected and you're just looking over there and you're kind of being judgy in a sense, and just I don't know, not really enthused about something. And so you kind of have to give new people and new energies and new situations a little more of a chance. So instead of being disconnected or trying to be not to be a part of something, I feel like this card is saying it's time to invest yourself emotionally, take some time to get to know the situation that you're in, as well as embrace it and go into it. You'll have more of an understanding of people as well as yourself when you engage and integrate yourself with what you're trying to hold back from. So instead of being bitches can't sit with me, I'm over here, I don't need that. But you also kind of want to be a part of it. You want to have fun. So allow yourself to sort of navigate to that situation and embrace it and be a part of it. Don't disconnect from your current situation, but allow yourself to sort of take that, there's a word and it's not coming to me right now, but I feel this frustration energy, I don't want to be here, I'm tired, I just don't want to do this. But you're kind of setting yourself up in a sense for not necessarily failure, but being disgruntled. And if you look at it oh, this could be fun, I'm going to invest myself, apply myself. I am going to be a part of my experience. I am going to pay attention and help and be of service. I am going to change my bitch face into witch face. I'm going to change my, frustration into something more beneficial, because I can have fun, and I want to have fun. But I have to get rid of my emotional apprehension and allow myself to become part of the flow. And it's really about allowing new experiences and new energies into your current life. Instead of, battling them, it's opening the doors and allowing them in and just smiling about it. So yeah, little one card reader. just being present and listening can be healing. Absolutely, that's a good point. Yeah. Remedies were a big part. Talismans, charms, songs. I know they really were. That book, what is it? Wicked Enchantments, which is based on the Pendle Witches. There's a lot of healing magic there. So, definitely, that is something to check out. Witchcraft and healing. It's a part of our story. It's a part of who we are. Be open and ready to receive. Damn right. And be ready to receive some interesting gifts from interesting people. Kind of like, don't judge something from how they look. You know, people look at people with like intense piercings and crazy hair and all this shit, and they have this automatic judge expression. You know? But then, you're like, oh, this is actually a good person. Kind of crazy. But I like you. This is fun, you know? It's like that. I found that putting my intent into the knots and giving it to the person can not only heal them physically, but can emotionally make them feel better, which in turn can help them. And that is a really good expression too, because when we're working healing magic, we can cover all areas. You know, the mind, the body, and the spirit realm. When we work all areas, it helps to, you know, create that healing, or it helps to create a better foundation for healing work. Yeah, sorry. Okay. So, witchcraft and healing is perfect. Remedies like, you know, Susie expressed, charms, talismans, essential oil blends. You know, we have everything. Poppets, mojo bags. There's like everything we do. And I'm saying I'm a lot now. Sorry. Everything we do can be considered an aspect of healing, as well as just tarot cards. Tarot magic is perfect and really good for healing, because then you can walk. Not only can you cast with your cards, but you can also walk your client, your target, through each card. You can create a sort of meditational experience and show them a card and walk them through the challenge, the emotion, the friction, and help them process into feeling better and creating that energetic, that vibration in the body, which will match and align with what needs to be had in order for proper healing to be experienced. You must have faith in yourself and your craft and total belief in what you are doing and why. Absolutely. That's why practice makes perfect. Tarot at a Crossroads, Tarot and Psychology. Oh my gosh, I still need to get that damn book. Ugh. Why do you throw it in my face every time, Susie? Oh, speaking of that, there's also a book, The Tarot Alchemist, on YouTube. I think was trying to do a review, and then it didn't turn into a review, it turned into something else, but it was so good. Fuck, what is it? Oh, Tarot for the Healing Heart, using inner wisdom to heal body and mind. I don't know if y'all have read that or have that, but if you have, let me know, because I think I want it. I do. I think I want it. But then I have to get the other one. And have you read Holistic Tarot, an integrative approach to using tarot for personal growth? Have you read that one? Have you? Have you, Susie? Really? No. But I think I want to read that too. There's a lot of ways as which as we integrate healing into our practice. I need to read it too, but I have to acquire it first. But Yeah, y'all. So I think I'm gonna be closing up. If you guys have any more questions, any questions before I get ready to close up, I need to go check dinner that I have cooking. I may do. I probably will do another video in a little later on my personal channel on the Deviant Witch, just because I like talking and I can today. So yeah, if you want me to answer any more questions or just talk about anything really quick before I have to leave, and if I'm like constantly doing this, I'm looking at all the comments down here. That's why we're not eye to eye. But yeah, it's fun. I enjoy doing these experiences, these live feeds. They're fun for me. How often should you read your own tarot? I read my cards every day, but it just depends on how you read them. It really depends on what you're reading. If you're asking the same question every single day, as in, why does my job suck, or why can't I find a good relationship, or I don't know, something. If you have the same question every single day, then that might not be good. But if you're like asking for daily inspiration, that's cool. You can do that every day. If you're asking, how to best take advantage of your day, you could do that daily. So it really just depends on the type of question you're asking your cards. That would determine how often. I pull a card every day for myself, and I feel absolutely. Y'all, cards are wonderful, and being psychic is wonderful. Being a witch is wonderful. We're wonderful. I'm wonderful. You're wonderful. We're all wonderful. Whew. Ooh, I like to draw 3 and read the stories, like soap operas. Which card aspects which, etc. I like that. Yeah. That's fun. Okay, so ta-ta for now. Have fun, y'all. Come back, see us. If you have any other questions, feel free to comment and let me know. I'm definitely gonna go live a little later on the Deviant Witch because I'm having fun. I'm making a roast with veggies, and I don't know what else. Haven't decided. That's what I'm doing. Documentaries, soap operas, But yes, again, be blessed, everyone. Thank you for participating. I am so grateful. Melissa and I are so grateful for being able to do this. If you want us to talk about anything specific, feel free to comment, and we will do our best. The Vanessa, stay blessed. Oh, you too. Yes, and have fun, y'all. Peace.